All right, everybody. We are back here at Impact Gaming Center. It is Tuesday night. You know what time it is. It's Tuesday night Pokemon. We've got Jeff on the right playing his Pult Dust Noir deck. And then we've got Daniel on the left, the newest member of Clan Impact, repping Raging Bolt, his beloved Raging Bolt EX. This is going to be a very interesting one. It's the battle of former teammates, Impact versus Players Corner. Corey, I think I got Daniel. I think I got my money on Daniel for this one.
Yeah, Raging Bull is usually favored into Dragapult quite often. So I mean, and then so it should play out how we think it is, but you never know. I mean, Jeff's a good player, and he's been on this Dragapult for a few weeks now. So uh, we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested to see the newest member of Clan Impact get into this game. We see an early Nest Ball, most likely going to get that fan Rotom, doing that fan call ability. And we see Latias in the active slot. So Daniel's going to be able to retreat into that Ditto that he's already eyeing up. So that way he can get that transformative start ability. Transformative start reads that if Ditto is in the active slot, you may search your deck for any basic Pokemon and then swap Ditto with that Pokemon, and then Ditto goes to the discard pile. So if you're Daniel, you can go ahead and get that fan Rotom. Then you can use that fan call ability. Go get you a couple Hoots. Go get that Ditto. Go ahead and get your Terra Pokemon set up, ready to go into play, and force Jeff to deal with some early aggression out of your Raging Bolt deck. If Daniel can combine this with the Stadium and an Energy, then that Badoo is going to go down, and item lock does not matter after that.
Yeah, and I talked to Daniel a little bit before we started, and he's only playing Raging Bull today because he's got two of the fancy fan Rotoms in now. So uh, he'll he's he resorted back to his old ways because he's got the new ones, the fancy ones, and he wanted to play them. So
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see Daniel go ahead and preemptively grab the baby Raging Bolt instead of grabbing a Terra Pokemon, most likely knowing that he has Ultra Ball in hand, so he can guarantee getting the Ogre Pond no matter what before the Itchy Pollen comes down. So if you're Daniel, this is a great start knowing that item lock is coming. You can kind of mitigate that by playing as many item cards as you can before Jeff can even get established. And it kind of forces Jeff into a very peculiar spot. We see a Nest Ball here coming from Jeff, most likely setting up a Dreepy on the bench, just so that way he can start getting that draw engine online. I mean, most of the time with Pult Ghost, we see the board flooded with Dreepies, flooded with Duskulls. That way they can get that draw engine online with that recon directive, and they can start aggressively evolving into their Dusclops and Dust Noirs, just so that way they can put on some mid to late game pressure. But you have to set up early in order to get to that end game. But I think Daniel is already in a good spot to deal with that setup from Jeff, and he can kind of pick off anything he wants with that baby Raging Bolt.
yeah, and Raging Bullet's a deck that like it doesn't rely on items too much. Like once it gets going, it's going. Like with the Sada engine, it can just swing into pretty much anything it needs. So like him using those items early, getting them out of the way, Jeff's not gonna really slow him down too much with this Badoo.
Yeah, and we've seen Dragapult really lean heavily on Badoo. At one point in the meta, it felt like every single deck and their uncle was running Badoo, but now it's kind of really isolated to just Dragapult. We see Gardevoir play the Frillish sometimes, especially the Jelly Guardy build. They'll lean heavily into that 2-1 item lock with the Jellicent and with the Frillish. But other than those two decks, I can't really think of a deck that really relies on item lock quite like those two. So we see Badoo in the active slot fairly often, and especially in the mirror, we see a lot of Badoo wars, which that was kind of a thing from a year ago at this point.
Yeah, and we see Jeff play that Lilies into a Buddy Poffin. I'm assuming he's gonna go probably get two Duskull or like maybe another Dreepy and a Duskull. Two Duskull. There we go. Just to get his board set up for get into those Dust Nors and Dusclops to start putting damage counters on Daniel's Pokemon on his side of the bench.
Yeah, the only thing that I worry about from Jeff's point of view is you have two Dreepy, you have Well, there was 2 Duskull. I think he's
still debating it.
yeah, I think he's debating on that last bench spot.
I actually
But
like the 3 Dreepy.
I agree, but the only thing I'm worried about is I know Jeff can't like attach multiple energy per turn because that is illegal in the Pokemon TCG. But if you're Daniel, it's very clear which Dreepy you're going to go after. You're going to go after the one with the energy, forcing Jeff to find Neo Upper Energy. And honestly, probably find rare candy too, because you can't just commit a Neo Upper Energy to a Dracloak because that's going to be the one that Daniel's target down. For Daniel, going after the energies is going to be his most important aspect until the 2 prizers come into play. And we see Daniel already with the Crispin in hand, most likely getting a grass energy and then a fighting energy with that lightning energy top deck. With this Crispin, he's going to be able to put that fighting energy on the active, put the grass energy in the hand, and then Teal Dance. This is one of the few decks in format that can turn Crispin into a draw card with that Teal Mask Ogerpon and with that grass energy. And Daniel's going to be able to attach that lightning from turn because that fighting energy doesn't count as his attachment for turn. So he's going to get 3 energy into play relatively quickly and very aggressively, most likely going after that Dreepy on the bench just to mitigate Jeff's setup and to slow him down even more for a deck that already goes slow.
Yeah. You see him go ahead and attach that lightning. Of course, he has to just snipe the Dreepy off the bench, right? Like, that's just the play. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're Daniel here too, it makes so much sense to go after that Dreepy with the energy. With a deck like Dragapult, it's very, very slow. It likes to slowly build up into a mid to late game where it can just dominate and run over every single thing that it runs into. But if you can attack its setup and get multiple prizes while it's still trying to get its feet under it, you can just kind of bully him off the table. And that's kind of what Daniel's game plan here is in this matchup. I'm going to go after your energy. I'm going to bully your setup. And then whenever I get down to 4 or 3 prize cards, it makes it really difficult for you to use your Dragapult or your Dusknoirs, which is your main way of dealing with my Raging Bolts. So it's really forcing Jeff to kind of get the pedal to the metal. And we see Jeff evolve those Dreepies into Dracloaks. You know, I kind of wish that Jeff was able to like rare candy this turn and find Neo Upper, because that would be his best way of getting back into the matchup and really pressuring Daniel, because Daniel's setup is a little on the weaker side. We only see one Hoot Hoot. We only see one Ogerpon. There's not a lot going on Daniel's side. Now, he was item locked the previous turn, but there's just not that much going on Daniel's side of the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Jeff actually plays the rare candy. Do you know?
I know if it's the same list that he's been playing, he plays 2
rare candy. Okay. Because I know like most of the top lists don't run the rare candy now. They just kind of like get into their game plan off the Dracloaks and get into it like that. It's a slower game, game style.
Yeah, does it feel more like a hybrid of Slowpolt with Pult Ghost now, where they kind of forego the rare candies, slowly build up to the Dragapult, slowly build up through the Dusknoirs, and then do it that way and lose a little bit of the aggressiveness, but kind of lean into more of the Badoo item lock?
Yeah, because the Badoo, I mean, it does a lot more to other decks. Like I said, Raging Bull is a different case because its engine is Crispin, Sada. You know what I'm saying? You use the Noctiles, but like, say if this was a deck like, I don't know, Godingo or Charizard or something like that, it slows it down quite a bit with the Badoo item lock. So
yeah, and I know decks like Gardevoir too will kind of falter behind that item lock. That's kind of the main way that Dragapult is favored in that matchup, is just 10% of the time it'll just Badoo cheese Gardevoir out of the game, and then they could set up their Dragapults and then really start punishing that limited setup of Gardevoir. And Jelly Guardy kind of does the same thing. It bullies decks that can't really get around item lock, and that's why Frillish has become one of the most important Pokemon in format. So back to this game, the Badoo's not doing that much to Daniel. It's kind of annoying for Daniel to deal with, but he's kind of okay with it. I think he's holding Noctowl in hand, wanting to save that until Jeff gets a little bit more established. And if you're Daniel here, I think with doing that 90 damage snipe, it almost becomes a curious case of, do you go after the Dusclops, which kind of forces Jeff to go down a line where he doesn't take a one-shot. And that's exactly what Daniel is choosing to do, going after that Dusclops, basically telling Jeff, I'm not afraid of your dragons. I'm more afraid of your ghosts.
Yeah, the ghost is what You know, I mean, those placing those damage counters however you want can be like really annoying. And Jeff, I mean, he does have two Dracloaks, but I mean, he has no energy like on them. So like he would have to go into a Dragapult Neo Upper, like, you know. So if I'm Daniel, yeah, I'm gonna take out what the bigger threat at the moment is, which would have been that Dusclops. I think that was a smart play.
Yeah, and it's basically telling Jeff this turn because we noticed that Jeff doesn't have an energy dropped. It's basically telling Jeff, you need to find Dragapult, you need to find Neo Upper Energy, and you need to get into this game. If not, I will just run you over. And Scott, you were not here, but Daniel is no longer with Players Corner. He is a part of Clan Impact. That is right. This is Clan Impact versus Players Corner here on the stream. And right now, Impact is showing that we are the best team here in Southern Illinois.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
And Jeff getting that Pheasantipity down, getting another Dracloak into play, most likely trying to dig as far as he can to get Dragapult plus Neo Upper this turn. I think that is legitimately the only way that Jeff comes back in this game. And I think he also needs to find Haluchis so that way he can ping that Hoot on the bench just to kind of mitigate Daniel's response. That's a lot.
That's a lot to ask for.
That is
a lot to ask.
Now, granted, he does
have 3 Dracloaks,
and he gets so he's seeing the top 6 plus a draw of 3 from Fez. So it's not unheard of. It's not undoable. It's not impossible, but it is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And that first recon directive did not help him at all.
No. We'll see. I can't see what he got.
It looks like a tower, and I can't tell what the stamped card was. It was definitely one of the cards from the play packs. It looks like Counter Catcher was one. It looks
like he's getting what he needs.
So he grabbed Iono off of that recon directive. And we're going to see a flip the script. Neo Upper. Oh, I see Neo Upper, and I see Dragapult off that flip the script. So we're going to get a response, but I don't know if there is Halucha. Now, there's a chance that Jeff could Iono into it, which would be huge for him. I think he has to find Halucha this turn.
That's the case. I would have rather him play the Iono before he flipped the script.
Yeah.
You know.
Just to kind of like, hand disrupt Daniel. He's holding a Noctowl.
Exactly. And, I mean, that's Bolt's biggest weakness, honestly, is just Iono or, like, being judged. Anything low hand size.
Especially without Fez in play.
Yeah, and it's like there's no reason to draw 3 cards and then Iono. Like, why not just Iono, reset the hand, and then keep those 3 cards that you're going to get off the Fez? Like, you're going to go into it, so...
Yeah, maybe the only thing that I can think of is maybe Jeff was hoping to hit like Lily, so that way he can get a bigger draw of 8. We see that he got it on the other side of that Iono. It looks like it's Luminous, Boss, Counter Catcher, Buddy Poffin, Lilies, and I cannot tell. It looks like Hilda, I think, is the last card. So it looks like Jeff is eyeing up a Counter Catcher here. Most likely going to bring up the Hoot just because it makes the most sense. Now, I will say, I don't dislike the play from Jeff, but I kind of wish you would have taken the energy out of play.
Same.
Because now, even if Daniel whiffs, he can still go in with that baby Raging Bolt and still take a prize to keep up that prize exchange for Daniel. Let's see what he gets off of this Iono. See if there's anything that can get him into this game. Looks like a top deck of a Hoot, which is going to be crucial. He's going to have to drop that, but I don't know if he's going to have the bench space for it because he kind of needs a lot this turn.
It looked like he has a Mew in hand also towards the end.
Yeah, there's a Mew and I can't...
Boss's orders at the end.
Unfortunately,
he's not
losing the Prime Catcher too is also kind of painful because Prime here would have been a really good thing to have. Being able to like prime up either the Pheasantipity or maybe one of the Dracloaks and then snipe around it just to force Jeff to find another energy to retreat it. But it also kind of puts Jeff behind on his energy attachments. That is one big thing about this deck is it really needs its energy attachments every single turn.
So, I mean, it's still nice that he has a Noctowl for next turn. I mean, if I'm him, honestly, I would just push the Raging Bolt, the Baby Bolt, and just go after one of the other Dracloaks and just, see what happens next turn, honestly.
Yeah, basically force Jeff to say, all right, cool, if you ever pop a ghost, if you get another one to play, you push me down to even prizes. I don't dislike that idea, and also kind of mitigate some of Jeff's drawing. Yes, he still has Pheasantipity, but he's going to lose a little bit of that recon directive. We see the Turo up of the Fan Rotom. Wondering if Daniel's going to bench that back down and try to restart. I don't know if I like that play. I don't think that draw of 1 is that impactful and that helpful.
I think he just tried to make it as difficult as possible for Jeff to take prizes next turn. Like, he knows his Baby Bolt is more likely going to go down, so next turn he has a Noctowl, and he can just go into whatever he needs to off the Jewel Seeker, maybe get a Prime Catcher and go after the Fez or something like that, get a Raging Bolt.
And Jeff holding boss's orders, bringing up that Ogerpon, and then using the Hawlucha flying entry, putting 1 damage counter on Hoot Hoot, putting another damage counter on that Baby Raging Bolt, attaching that Luminous Energy for turn. This is a huge swing here for Jeff. Going to be able to take 3 prizes this turn. That's another turn that Daniel is going to be put behind. The momentum is really swinging behind Jeff right now.
Yeah, it is.
And we see an Ultra Ball here. I wonder what Jeff is going to get. Most likely just thinning the deck, getting rid of these Buddy Buddy Poffins. You're not going to need them. I don't think Raging Bolt plays Hand Disruption anymore. I know there was a point in time where I was considering running like a one of Judge or one of Iono. That's kind of a little bit better when the Owls are established and you're kind of already ahead in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think it would really help you now, even if you did top deck Iono, especially because Jeff has so much draw on board. Even if you do Iono him, who cares?
Yeah, Daniel needs to be able to take this Dragapult down next turn.
And I think the big thing that's hurting him too is the fact that Jeff didn't go after the energy. I know I mentioned earlier that I wish he would have, but it's kind of saving him right now because Daniel, Daniel can't use Sada. It makes it really hard for Daniel to pull it out. We see an Ultra Ball here, but losing the Hoot Hoot has been a huge key for Daniel. I almost wish you could have been able to evolve it earlier and get the uses out of it instead of just letting it sit there be a Hoot Hoot. It also gives it a little bit more HP, so it's not an easy prize to give up. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a hard flip.
Does not let any of those Owls live, man. I mean, every time they've been down, he's put damage counters on them. He's taking them out.
But I will say Daniel is not in a bad spot. If he can get into that Raging Bolt this turn, there's enough energy on the Baby Bolt that he can absolutely demolish this Dragapult, and there's not really a way for Jeff to respond unless he's holding boss's orders to go after that Mew EX. There's not really anything in play that he can go after and take multiple prizes other than that Mew. Yeah. So if Daniel could get a huge response, basically force Jeff to find boss and energy, that could be a hard combo for Jeff to hit.
He's gonna see 6 cards. How many cards are you saying?
He's gonna be able to restart for 2 and then flip for
2 and then flip for 3.
And without that Ogerpon in play, can't Teal Dance that grass energy, so that grass is clogging up the hand. I think if you're Daniel, I think you kind of have to hope that you flip into a way to discard an energy and then Sada. I think that's kind of what we're hoping for here. We see Lightning, we see an Ultra Ball. That's a good draw off that Fez. Going to be able to Ultra Ball away the Lightning and the grass energy most likely. I think that is a good call. Keep that Lightning in hand.
Do you want to get rid of the grass? Because what are you Ultra Balling for? A Tail Mesh, right?
That's a good point. What are you Ultra Balling for? Most likely.
It would have to be a Tail Mesh. So if I'm him, I'm discarding something different. Yeah, you're definitely going to discard the Lightning because you have another one.
I mean, you could discard 2 Lightning.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Lightning is doing sitting in your hand. Like
That's true.
What card advantage is that Lightning giving you that the grass isn't giving you?
Oh, he's went for the Baby Koraidon. Okay. So he's going after the Fez this turn. More than likely.
It makes me wonder if he's going after his classic Prime Catcher punch with a 1 prizer into that Fez and basically saying, Jeff, you don't have a way to gust again. You've already burned 2 gust in the hand. There's no way you have a third. And that makes sense why you're keeping the Lightning energy too, because that means you can go Lightning on to that Raging Bolt, and then you can Sada to that grass to that Baby Koraidon. So that way it saves you. But unfortunately, Daniel does not have the Prime Catcher.
Yeah. He has no way to get to this Fez.
Yeah, and we've already seen all of our draw too. He's already used the Mew, he's already used the flipped script, he's already used all that. Going back in with the Baby Raging Bolt, targeting down the Hawlucha or the Badoo.
I think you just go after the Badoo at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't dislike the play. Push the one prize or basically say, Jeff, you don't have Gust. There's no way you can get around me.
I mean, Jeff's hand's pretty big. I mean,
yeah, that is asking Jeff to not find a lot, but he has played 2 Gust. He's used a counter catcher and he's used boss orders. All of his counter catchers that he has left are dead because they're even on prizes.
Got 3 off of Fez also.
So I mean, the chances that he hits one of his remaining boss is a little low. Let's see if Jeff can get it. If Jeff doesn't get boss's orders, then it just comes down to Daniel finding a fighting energy.
Yeah.
We see Duskull, we see Iono, and we see a basic fire energy. None of those things help Jeff.
Yeah, hope is still alive for Daniel at this moment.
You know, it makes you wonder if Jeff is almost maybe thinking about using Iono this turn just to disrupt Daniel. I don't know if that's a strong enough play, though.
I mean, his hand is pretty big to, like, if you know that cripples his deck anyways, putting him down to 2 is not that bad of a play. I mean, he'll still be able to use the Fez and the Mew, though, which will possibly use the Mew, depending on what his hand is next turn. So I don't think it's a bad play to Iono, actually.
Yeah, and crucially, Jeff doesn't know this, but he is Ionoing another one of Daniel Sada's to the bottom of the deck. There is a energy in that discard pile. That would have been a free draw of 3 for Daniel. So, honestly, good Iono here. Good on Jeff to hand disrupt Daniel. He is giving him Mew and Fez this turn. But for Daniel, a top deck of the Area 0 Underdepths and the Nest Ball lets him thin his hand down and be able to use Mew EX. Jeff going down to 1 prize, sprinkling these damage counters. It all comes down to if Daniel can find a fighting energy and a way to get 1 or 2 more energy into play. Or Prime Catcher.
Or, yeah, I was just about to say, or Prime Catcher. I mean, he has 2 free retreaters. I mean, so.
There's that fighting energy. If I'm Daniel here, I put that Area 0 Underdips down. We attach for turn, play the Nest Ball to thin our hand down as much as we can and get a big draw of 6. That is what we need.
To just shuffle the deck up.
Yeah, exactly.
You just put what you need possibly at the bottom of the deck. So
let's see if Daniel can hit a single energy off of this restart and this Teal, and if he hits grass, he's Teal Mass that wins the game too. But we'll see if he can get it off of this flip the script and this restart. Both of those in combination, if we can find a single grass, if we can find a night stretcher, if we can find anything that puts a single energy in play, Daniel will win this game.
I hope he just rolls it off the top, bro. Let us see every card.
Yeah, we want the slow roll. We want the dramatics here.
Bro. Oh.
Off the restart, we see Ultra Ball. We see the Glass Trumpet. There is a Terra in play, but there's not a colorless Pokemon in play.
Fez.
I think he got an Earthen Vessel, getting rid of the Cornerstone Ogerpon. He's got the Ultra Ball to go get the Blood Moon and use that Glass Trumpet.
He's got the grass, yeah.
But he's got the grass of that Earthen Vessel. Congrats to Daniel, the newest member of Clan Impact, having a great time here on the stream against his former teammate, Jeff at Players Corner. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Jeff for honestly a fantastic game. And it's nice to see Clan Impact pull one out for the boys here as co-members of Clan Impact. It's always nice to see one of our new teammates come out and show out on stream and play a fantastic game.
Yeah, nothing better than winning on stream. So,
yeah, and I don't think there was anything that Daniel could have done differently in this game that would have just helped him more. I think he played it as well as he could, given the board state, given the situation with Jeff's side of the board. There wasn't much different that I wish Daniel would have done. You would have kind of wished
him not go and get the Koraidon.
Yeah.
I still don't understand him going and get the Koraidon instead of just going into a Teal Mass and figuring it out that way. Because, I mean, the Koraidon never came up. It was irrelevant. He couldn't get to the bench or anything, so I would have liked to see a little better play on that one, but other than that, I mean, I think he played it perfectly.
Yeah, I think the only other thing that I kind of wished that I would have seen too is instead of just leaving it a hoot, you're getting item locked, why not go ahead and use the Noctowl? And it makes it a little bit more difficult for Jeff to get an easy 3-prize take onto a Hoot and to say a 2-prizer like we saw earlier with the Ogerpon. It would have been nice to see that evolution, but it's one of those things where if you save it and you don't get item locked anymore, then you can pop off. Or if you get an energy in the discard pile because Jeff's only answer is knocking out the active, he doesn't get the Hawlucha. All right, cool. Now you give me all my energy. Now it's time to go Noctowl for Sada and start drawing cards. But other than that, just shout out to Daniel and Jeff, two phenomenal players playing a great game. And Corey, is there anything you would have else like to see?
No. I thought they both played really tight. Yeah, it was good gameplay all around from both sides. So, yeah, I mean, it still went exactly how I thought it would go. But I mean,
there's a little bit more theatrics at the end of this.
Yeah, it was a little more dramatic, but I mean, he got there. So,
but awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here. I know the stream was a little iffy at first. We got a brand new streaming computer, so we've been playing around with some of the new settings, and it's a lot of our things have moved. We've discovered over the last probably 30 minutes that it's like, oh man, we don't have that folder anymore because it was on the old computer. So just hold off with you guys tonight. We might have a little bit of issues here with the new stream computer, just trying to get everything figured out. In the next couple of weeks, we'll get everything all squared away, and it'll be nice. But if you guys need singles, if you guys need sealed product, Impact Gaming Center is your place for that in-store and online. We have anything you can possibly think of. We've got Pokemon. We've got Magic. We've got One Piece. We've got everything you can possibly think of when it comes to trading cards and playing cards at all. We're going to head over to our little intermission while we wait for the players to finish up round 1 and we get our round 2 pairings. And then we're going to try to work on some back end stuff to clean up the stream a little bit. So thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you guys here in a little bit. All right. I appreciate it.